You think peace is normal? You are dead wrong. Peace is just a pause. War is the cycle, and the alarm has just gone off. Do the math with me. It isn't a theory, it is a clock. 1781, Revolution, add 80 years. 1861, Civil War, add 80 years. 1941, World War II, add 80 years one last time. 2021, the start of the countdown. We are now in the final seconds. In this video, I'm going to show you why 2026 isn't just another year. It is a mathematical certainty for conflict. And if you aren't prepared, you are already a casualty. Before an empire collapses from the outside, it always rots from the inside first. We are seeing that rot right now. It starts with the money. It always starts with the money. Look at this chart. This is the wealth gap in 1929, right before the Great Depression and the chaos that followed. The top 0.1% owned as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Now, look at 24. The lines are identical. When people feel the game is rigged, when they work harder but get poorer, trust evaporates. In the 1930s, that anger led people to embrace populism and radical leaders. It led to riots. It led to division. Does that sound familiar? We are fighting a psychological civil war right here at home, exactly like we were before the first bombs fell in World War II. But the division is only the symptom. The disease is the debt. In 1941, when America entered World War II, our national debt to GDP ratio was roughly 4%. The country was a manufacturing powerhouse with a healthy balance sheet. We could afford to save the world. Today, that number is over 120%. We are broke. We are borrowing money just to pay the interest on the money we already borrowed. Here's the insight that nobody in Washington will tell you. A nation drowning in debt cannot afford a long war. It cannot afford to build fleets of ships and thousands of planes overnight. We are structurally weaker than we have ever been in history. If a major conflict starts tomorrow, we don't have the money to fight it, and our enemies know this. But here's the thing. The crumbling economy, the political hatred, the debt spiral in America, that is only half the story. That is just the opening act. What is truly terrifying, what should keep you awake at night, is what is happening on the other side of the ocean. While we were fighting each other, our enemies have spent the last 20 years preparing for exactly this moment. Historians call it the Thucydides trap. It is a deadly historical pattern. When a rising power threatens to displace a ruling power, war is the result 12 times out of 16. We are currently living through case number 17, and the trap has already snapped shut. To understand 2026, you have to look at the psychology of 1940. Germany, Japan, and Italy, the Axis powers, didn't just wake up one day and decide to be evil. They felt suffocated. They felt encircled by the established powers. They felt cut off from the resources they needed to feed their economies. So, they lashed out to break the containment. Look at the map today. It is the exact same picture. Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. They are not just a loose collection of dictatorships. They are a modern axis. Through the expansion of the BRICS alliance, they have effectively seized control of the global supply chain. They control the oil. They control the rare earth minerals. They control the food supplies. They are building an economic fortress designed to withstand Western sanctions. But the real danger isn't just about resources. It is about the ability to use them. It is about production. In 1941, the United States won World War II for one simple reason. We were the arsenal of democracy. We could outbuild, outproduce, and outsupply any nation on earth. We turned automobile factories into tank factories in a matter of weeks. We built a Liberty ship every single day. That America does not exist anymore. We have spent the last 40 years deindustrializing. We shipped our factories overseas. We financialized our economy. We became experts at printing money, while our adversaries became experts at printing steel. And the numbers are absolutely terrifying. Look at this chart. This is the naval shipbuilding capacity of the two superpowers. The blue bar is the United States. The red bar is China. China currently possesses a shipbuilding capacity that is 232 times greater than the United States. Let that sink in. 232 times. If we lose a destroyer in battle, it takes our dry docks 5 years to replace it. China can replace that same ship in weeks. They are churning out warships like sausages. In a prolonged conflict, bravery doesn't matter if you run out of ships before the enemy runs out of missiles. In 1941, we had the factories. In 2026, the enemy has the factories. We have hollowed ourselves out, and now we are staring down the barrel of the greatest industrial machine the world has ever seen. And it gets worse, much worse. Stop for a second. I want you to look at your phone. Look at the computer screen you are watching this on. Look at the car parked in your driveway. The advanced microchips inside all of those devices, the literal brains of modern civilization, come from one place, one single island, Taiwan. We have concentrated the entire world's supply of advanced semiconductors on an island that China claims is theirs. If China blockades that island tomorrow, it is not just about the stock market crashing. It is about the lights going out. The global economy would return to the Stone Age in 48 hours. No new cars, no new phones, no replacement parts for medical equipment, and critically, no new guidance systems for American missiles. We have handed the keys to our technological survival to the very people we are preparing to fight, and they know exactly when to turn the lock. So when does the shooting start? That is the wrong question. The shooting has already started. You just haven't been paying attention to the rehearsal. Before the chaos of World War II engulfed the planet, there was the Spanish Civil War in 1936. To the average person reading the newspaper in 1936, it looked like a local conflict, a tragic civil war in a foreign country. But to the military strategists, it was a laboratory. It was where Hitler sent his Condor Legion to test the terrifying scream of the Stuka dive bombers. It was where the Soviet Union sent their tanks to see how they held up in real combat. They used Spain to perfect the art of killing, ironing out the flaws in their machines before unleashing them on the rest of the world. Now, look at Ukraine, look at Gaza, look at the Red Sea. These are not isolated regional conflicts. These are live fire testing grounds for World War III. Russia is testing hypersonic missiles, weapons that move so fast our current defense systems cannot intercept them. NATO is testing AI-driven surveillance and satellite warfare, and what we are learning on these battlefields has changed the fundamental nature of war forever. For the last 80 years, military power was measured in heavy metal. Tanks, aircraft carriers, manned fighter jets. That era is over. The era of the algorithm has begun. We are watching $500 consumer drones, plastic toys you can buy at Walmart, destroy $5 million main battle tanks. Think about the economics of that trade. A $500 drone takes out a $5 million asset. That is a cost asymmetry that bankrupts the defender. We are seeing main battle tanks, the kings of the battlefield for a century, being welded shut with cope cages to protect them from cheap explosives dropped from the sky. And it isn't working. A kid with a game controller sitting in a bunker 5 miles away can wipe out a platoon of elite soldiers without ever exposing himself to danger. This is the democratization of destruction. In 1941, you needed a massive industrial base and millions of dollars to threaten a superpower. Today, you need cheap plastic, a battery, and a line of code. While the Pentagon argues about multi-billion-dollar budgets for aircraft carriers that act as massive floating targets, our adversaries are perfecting the swarm. They are learning that quantity has a quality all its own. They are building millions of cheap autonomous killers, while we are building a handful of expensive museum pieces. The rehearsal in Ukraine has proven one thing: the old rules of war are dead. And the new rules, they are being written by whoever has the best AI. The rehearsal is almost over. The actors know their lines. The weapons have been tested. The main event is about to begin. And is So what does the beginning of the end actually look like? Forget the movies. Forget the paratroopers dropping from the sky like in Red Dawn. Forget the nuclear mushroom clouds on the horizon. If you are waiting for a loud explosion to tell you that World War III has begun, you will be waiting too long. The Third World War will not begin with a bang. It will begin with silence. Imagine this. It is a Tuesday morning in November 2026. You wake up. The alarm on your phone didn't go off because your phone is dead, not out of battery, dead, no signal, no 5G, no Wi-Fi. You walk into the kitchen to make coffee, but the lights don't turn on. The power grid is down. You think it is just a local blackout, annoying but manageable. You get in your car to drive to work. But the GPS on your dashboard is spinning in circles. The traffic lights are all dark. The streets are gridlocked. You pull into a gas station to fill up. There is a line of 50 cars. People are shouting. You walk to the front and see the problem. The pumps work electronically. They are offline. And even if they worked, the credit card readers are down. You try to check your bank balance on your phone app, hoping to get some cash, but the app won't load. And if you could see your account, you might see a zero balance. Not because you spent the money, but because the ledger that proves you own that money has been wiped clean. This is the digital Pearl Harbor. Our enemies know they cannot defeat the United States Navy in a direct open ocean confrontation. Not yet. So they won't try. They will attack where we are weakest. They will attack the nervous system of our civilization, the grid. They know that American society is built on efficiency, not resilience. We have just-in-time delivery systems for food. We have digital currency. We have electric water pumps. If they turn off the switch, we don't just lose the internet. We lose the ability to drink, to eat, and to move. Chaos will not happen on a battlefield 3,000 miles away. It will happen at the grocery store down the street when the last loaf of bread is sold. And why 2026? Why is that the deadline? The Pentagon calls it the window of vulnerability. Right now, the U.S. military is in a transition phase. We are retiring old ships and planes, waiting for new technology that won't be ready until the 2030s. We are old and slow. Meanwhile, our adversaries reach their absolute peak military power between 2025 and 2027. They have the ships. They have the hypersonic missiles. They have the cyber weapons. And they know that if they wait past 2027, the window might close. They have to move now. The math of the 80-year cycle isn't just a spooky coincidence. It is a biological clock. The generation that remembers the horror of the last war is gone. The institutions that kept the peace have decayed. The debt is unpayable. And the enemy is at the gate, holding a kill switch to our power grid. The scary part isn't that. This might happen. The scary part is that for the military strategists in Beijing and Moscow, this is their only winning move. I'm telling you this for one reason, and it is not to scare you. Fear is useless. Fear is paralysis. When you are terrified, you freeze. And if you freeze when the cycle turns, you become a victim. I'm telling you this because I want you to build an ark. The flood is coming. The winter is here. But just like Roger Babson in 1929, the people who see the storm coming are the ones who not only survive it but prosper on the other side. So what does an ark look like in 2026? First, you need to rethink what you call assets. If your wealth exists only as pixels on a screen, you do not own it. If the grid goes down, your net worth goes to zero. You need tangible assets, physical gold, silver, land, things that exist in the real world, things that require no electricity to hold their value. You need to step outside the debt system before it collapses on top of you. Second, you need skills, not just knowledge. In a crisis, a coding degree or a marketing certificate is worthless. Can you fix an engine? Can you grow food? Can you purify water? Can you perform basic first aid? The economy of the future will not reward those who manipulate data. It will reward those who can manipulate the physical world. And finally, you need a tribe. The lone wolf dies in the winter. The pack survives. Look at your neighbors. Look at your local community. Build relationships now before you need them. Because when the supply chains break, the only thing that will matter is who you can trust. The 80-year cycle has finished its rotation. The winter of history has arrived. We cannot stop the season from changing. We cannot stop the war machine, but we can put on a coat. We can reinforce our shelter. History is brutal to the blind, but it is incredibly generous to the prepared. The warning signs are flashing red. The pattern is repeating. Now you see it. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? If you want a specific step-by-step breakdown of the safe haven assets, the 5 things you need to buy before 2020 to protect your family's future, comment the word "survive" down below. I will see you in the next video. Stay safe.